Welcome to a video on running web pages just on your computer, which works well if you're just learning HTML and JavaScript, and I'll also show you how you can turn in a whole entire website. So first off, you can see I created stuff to mimic what would look like on a WAMP server or something like that. www.html. So I have my HTML folder. I'm going to have all my files in here. You can put your files in whatever folder you need to put in, but definitely make your own folder for it. For this, to create a page, you just go to File, or I just right-clicked. You can also click up here to New, but New text document. Now, what you're going to want to do is just go ahead and call it the name of whatever you're trying to do, about whatever. Index generally is the first one that you create. But as soon as you do this, it's going to give you a warning. It's okay because it's still going to be a text file. You'll notice that now it wants to open up with Chrome. So that's pros and cons. We want to edit it. It makes it so if you double click on it, it's going to open it with Chrome. So we just right click on it. Now if you have other pieces, there's Notepad++, Notepad. I'm just going to use Notepad for now, but I recommend using something like Notepad++ or any other program. You can use the Open With to find some other things. Visual Studio Code's also a really good one to open it with. But for simplicity, I'm just going to use a Notepad real quick. And again, you can see that I have just a blank file here. So as you're going through the class, you'll learn how to do all the tags. So I'm not going to really go over that right now. I'm just going to build a really simple page for you so we can see what it looks like to do what I'm talking about. So body. Alright, hello world. Let me just spell it right. Okay. The tags aren't going to, it might not make a lot of sense at this time, but again, I'm just kind of showing you how to get this all set up. So I have my HTML right here. I can go ahead and close this now. And when I double click on this, it's going to want to open with Chrome, which as you can see, it just did. And there's my hello world, right? It finds the files. Now, I'm not going to go into this, but as you start to learn to connect to other things, and add other files, like we're going to need to go ahead and add some CSS, picture folders, stuff like that, which might not make a lot of sense right now. Also, I recommend just lowercasing everything because you need to type whatever this is when you're referencing it later. Again, you'll see other videos on me talking about how to connect and file systems, right? That's not what this video is. This video is just how can I get a web page showing up, right? Without having installing web server, WAMP, which if you want to, you can do research. I probably have some videos on this as well. You can do a WAMP installation and really run it like this, but you don't need it for just HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, right? As long as you have all of these files in the same folder, or at least you can find them all and link them to each other, you're good to go. Now, if you do need to turn in a whole website, all right, and let's say like this, you have this, but it links to an external, which is going to happen really quick. All right, it'll happen really quick. You can go ahead and if you go to the www, you can right-click on this, and then you can compress to a zip file. It'll stick it right there. Rename it to whatever you need to, about or whatever, whatever you're turning in at that time, and then you can just turn that zip file in. So you can just find it, know where it's at, and then upload that, and that'll allow you to upload all the files in one, especially like your final project. You'll have everything in here, and you can just rename project, final or whatever, right? And it'll have all of the files, folders. It'll have all of this in there, and now it allows you to turn it into one file. At the beginning, when you're just turning in one, you can just literally just turn in that one file, right? So this the about page, I know that project at first is just one file, so you can just turn that one in. But otherwise, as you start getting more files, you can go ahead and zip it and turn that in with what you need. And make sure you label what it is, so, and what you're going to look for. And you still are going to be responsible to call everything correctly, because I'm going to see all the files, and I'm going to be looking, if I'm turning in the about, I'm going to be looking for the about file. So again, make sure you name everything correctly in the directions. So hopefully this makes sense for running. I know Zero Web Host is not as free as it used to be anymore, so this is probably the easiest way to do it. If you're interested, though, there is a way to install WAMP, Windows, Apache, so on and so forth. But you don't need it for this class, right? You don't need it for CS195. If you take CS295 and get to PHP, you'll need that system. But for a simple HTML JavaScript web page, you can run everything right like this in a folder, right? Everything you need in a folder. Put out your picks. All your other ones, you just keep adding as needed. All right, hope that helps. Have a good one. Bye.